Hey everyone, what's up? Today we're diving into something huge that's got a ton of folks scratching their heads, stressing out, and honestly, just trying to figure out what's going on. We're talking about the Social Security Fairness Act and this whole mess about not knowing if you're even eligible for the bigger benefits. I mean, if you're a teacher, a firefighter, or maybe a government worker who's been grinding away for years, this one's for you. Stick with me, because I've got the latest scoop straight from the Social Security Administration, updated as of February 28th, 2025, and we're going to break it all down together. Real simple, real chill, no fancy nonsense. So here's the deal. The Social Security Fairness Act got signed into law on January 5th, 2025 by President Biden, and it's a game changer for over 3.2 million people. Teachers, cops, firefighters, federal employees under the old civil service retirement system, you name it. This law basically says, hey, those old rules that slash your Social Security benefits because you've got a pension from a job that didn't pay into Social Security, yeah, those are gone. We're talking about the windfall elimination provision, or WEP, and the government pension offset, or GPO. They're history now. Sound awesome, right? But here's where it gets tricky. A lot of you are sitting there going, wait, am I even eligible? Am I going to get this extra cash? Or am I stuck in some weird limbo? Because the rules are so dang complicated. Let's start with why this is freaking people out. Picture this. You're a teacher in California or Texas, been in the classroom for 20, 30 years, shaping young minds, right? You got a state pension because your job didn't pay into Social Security. Before this law, if you also work some side gigs or a second career that did pay into Social Security, WEP would swoop in and cut your benefits. Same deal with GPO. If your spouse passed away and you were counting on their Social Security, boom, it'd get slashed because of your pension. Now, with those rules gone, you should be getting more money. But the big question is, how do you know if you're in the club? And trust me, you're not alone. Tons of folks are losing sleep over this. The SSA dropped an update on February 24th, 2025, and they're saying, look, we're working on this. They've got over 3 million cases to sort through, and they're starting with people who never applied because they knew WEP or GPO would screw them over. They're also tackling folks who didn't bother with spousal benefits because GPO would have wiped them out. Plus, there's about 500,000 people with pending claims that are now going to benefit from this. But here's the kicker. If your case is complicated, like if you've got multiple pensions or a weird work history, it could take up to a year to figure out. A year. That's why so many of you are like, am I good? Am I getting this money or not? Okay. Let's break down who's probably eligible, because that's what you're here for. If you've got a pension from a job that didn't pay Social Security taxes, like a lot of teachers in states like Alaska, California, Ohio, or Texas, you're likely in. Same goes for firefighters or cops in places where local pensions don't touch Social Security. And if you're a federal worker hired before 1984 under the CSRS, this is your moment. The SSA says if WEP or GPO ever messed with your benefits, you're on the list. But here's where it gets messy. The rules are still kind of tangled up. Like, what if you worked 25 years in public school, but also had 10 years at a private gig that paid into Social Security? That's the kind of stuff making people nervous because it's not always a straight yes or no. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I even check this? The SSA's got your back on this one. They've got a page online, and I'll drop the link in the description. It's the Social Security Fairness Act page on their site. Updated February 24th, 2025, and it's got all the juicy details. You can log into your My Social Security account and peek at your benefit status. If you don't have an account, set one up. It's free, takes like 5 minutes. Or if you're old school, you can call them at 1-800-772-1213. Just say Fairness Act when you get someone on the line, and they'll hook you up with a rep who knows this stuff inside out. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. But heads up, they're swamped right now, getting over 6,000 calls a day about this. So maybe chill until April before you ring them unless it's urgent. Let's talk timing, because that's another thing driving folks nuts. The SSA says retroactive payments, money you should have gotten since January 2024, are rolling out now. They started the week of February 24th, 2025, and most people will see that cash hit their accounts by the end of March. Then, your regular monthly benefits will jump up starting in April 2025. So if you're already getting Social Security, you don't have to do anything. They'll adjust it automatically. But if you never applied because of WEP or GPO, you got to get on it. Apply online or call, because that's how you kick this thing into gear. And yeah, some of you might see an extra $360 a month on average, but it could be way more, like over $1,000 if your situation lines up just right. So why are people still freaked out about eligibility? It's those complicated rules, man. Like, take a teacher who's got a pension from Ohio State Teachers Retirement System. Maybe they also work summers at a retail job that paid into Social Security. Before, WEP would have cut their benefits based on some crazy formula about substantial earnings over 30 years. Now that it's gone, they're wondering, do I qualify for the full amount? Or what about a firefighter married to someone who paid into Social Security their whole career? GPO used to take 2/3 of their pension and subtract it from spousal benefits, sometimes leaving them with zilch. Now it's supposed to be fixed, but they're like, how do I know for sure? That's the vibe right now. People want clarity, and the SSA's trying, but it's a slow roll. Real talk, I've been digging through some X posts to see what folks are saying, and it's a mix. One teacher from Texas was like, I've been waiting 20 years for this, but I'm scared I'll mess up the paperwork and miss out. Another guy, a retired cop, said he called SSA and waited an hour just to get told, we're still processing, call back later. Then there's this federal worker who's pumped because he's getting an extra $800 a month, no cap. It's all over the place, and that's why this uncertainty is such a hot topic. People are hyped but paranoid, and honestly, who can blame them? Let's get practical for a sec. If you're sitting there going, I don't know if I'm eligible, here's what you do. Step 1, grab your work history. Look at every job you've had. Did it pay into Social Security or not? If you got a pension from a non-covered job, that's your ticket. Step 2, hit up the SSA site or call them. Don't just guess. Check your status. Step 3, if you're not getting benefits yet, apply now. Don't wait, because the sooner you're in the system, the sooner you get that retroactive cash. And if you're already in, just keep an eye on your bank account. Those increases are coming. Oh, and update your address and direct deposit info online so there's no hiccups. But let's zoom out. Why does this even matter so much? Think about it. Teachers, firefighters, government workers, they've been getting the short end of the stick for decades because of WEP and GPO. These were rules that basically punished you for serving your community in jobs that didn't pay into Social Security. Like, imagine busting your butt teaching kids or running into burning buildings, and then at retirement, you're told, nah, you don't get the full Social Security you earned because of some technicality. That's messed up, right? This law's fixing that, but the rollout's got people on edge because they've been burned before. Okay, here's a wild card. Some folks are worried this could get reversed. Like, what if a new administration comes in and says, nah, we're bringing WEP and GPO back? It's not likely, since this had bipartisan support, passed with a big majority in Congress, but it's still a fear floating around. I saw an X post from some dude saying, I'm not counting my chickens until the money's in my account, and I get that. After years of getting screwed, trust is low. Plus, there's chatter about how this might strain the Social Security Trust Fund down the road, but that's a whole other video. Back to eligibility. Let's hit some examples to make this crystal clear. Say you're a teacher in Massachusetts with 25 years in public schools. Pension's all set, but you also worked 15 years at a private tutoring gig that paid into Social Security. Pre-2025, WEP would have slashed your Social Security check. Now, you should get the full amount, no cuts. Or picture a firefighter in Colorado, 30 years on the job, married to someone who worked a corporate gig. GPO used to tank their spousal benefits. Now, they're golden. But if your case is weird, like you bounce between covered and non-covered jobs a bunch, SSA might need extra time to sort it out. That's where the panic sets in. Oh, and scams, watch out. SSA's already waving red flags about this. They'll never call you asking for money to process your benefits. If someone's like, pay me $500 and I'll get you approved, run the other way. Report at ssa.gov/scams. Seriously, don't get played. This is your money we're talking about. So, what's the latest as of February 28th, 2025? SSA's still cranking through cases. They've adjusted benefits for about 1 million people so far, with another 2 million in the pipeline. Retroactive payments are mostly done by March, and April's when the new monthly amounts kick in for most. But they're blunt about it. If your situation's a puzzle, it might not wrap up until 2026. They're begging people to hold off on calling unless it's dire, because their phone lines are a circus. Over 6,000 calls a day, and they're short-staffed. Yikes. Let's wrap this up with some hope, though. This law's a big deal. It's not just about cash, it's about fairness. If you've been stressing about eligibility, you're not crazy. The rules are a maze. But the SSA's got tools to help you figure it out, and they're moving as fast as they can. Hang in there, check your status, and don't let the uncertainty win. You've earned this, whether you're a teacher who's graded 1 million papers or a firefighter who's saved lives. This is your shot at what's owed to you. All right, fam, that's the rundown. Drop a comment if you're sweating about this. Tell me your story. Are you a teacher? A cop? How's this hitting you? Smash that like button if this helped, and subscribe if you want more real talk like this. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.